Welcome to the Clarington Chronicle Podcast. I'm your host, Mark Stanish. This is podcast episode number 78 for Thursday, March 16, 2017. Glad to have you join me. In this podcast, I'm going to take a look at a proposal to ban releasing more than 10 balloons at once in Clarington. Well, I hope everybody had a fantastic week. We did manage to survive the spring forward time change back on Sunday, and I think we're all a little bit sleepy and trying to figure out how to navigate the week. Everybody I look at seems to be groggy and dealing with the time change, so hopefully you survived that intact and you're able to get sleep. I just want to go over a couple of news items here before we get into our main topic. So the first one I want to discuss is actually on Twitter. So this is at the Clarington ON, at Clarington ON, and that's the Twitter feed that the town puts out, and they have a whole bunch of stuff on there. But one of them that just caught my attention was that they're giving away a free family swim skate pass to one lucky follower every month in 2017. So you still have plenty of time to enter to win one of those. So to win that, or to at least get a ballot in order to try and win that, you have to go on your Twitter, go to Clarington ON, and retweet it. So that's all you need to do, and they're going to give away to one lucky follower every month in 2017 a free family swim / skate pass. So good luck, and hopefully you can enter that. And the second news item I just wanted to bring to your attention was the Region of Durham's putting on a child care and children's program survey. So they're trying to get some input to help improve learning in childcare in Durham Region. The Children's Services Division is collecting feedback from parents and caregivers of children aged 0 to 12 years. And they just want to know what your opinion is on improving early learning programs and childcare in your neighborhood. So I'm going to include a link below so you can take a look at that. And but if you just want to go straight online, go to durham.ca and look up child care survey, and you should be able to find it. You have until April 3rd, so you still got a few weeks to enter your name there. And your name will be entered into a draw to win one of 10 $50 gift cards to a grocery store of your choice. So if you have a few minutes, it doesn't seem to be a long survey, so just try that out, and you can win one of 10 $50 gift cards, so it could be well worth your time if you do that. And again, we all benefit because the region will be able to hopefully improve their childcare and children's programs. Okay, so let's get on to our main topic, which is the balloon ban. So what, may you ask, is this balloon ban? Well, there was a story I found online from Clarington this week, from March 13th, and it's headlined, "Clarington Considers Banning Balloon Releases." So this article is by Jillian Fuller, and she's said that Clarington is looking to ban balloon releases in an effort to protect the environment. So she writes here that on March 6th, Council's General Government Committee approved a draft bylaw that prohibits releases of more than 10 balloons at a time in a 24-hour period. So the staff report says that when released, the balloons descend. About 70% of them end up going into the oceans or lakes, and where they pose a threat to fish and animals. So it continues that while latex balloons are considered more environmentally friendly and biodegradable than those made of foil, and we all know those foil ones because I think we've all had birthday parties with those, they still take anywhere from 6 months to 4 years to decompose. So let's go through this a little bit more, and then I'll add some comments, and hopefully you can answer the question of the podcast and have a discussion. So the report acknowledges that mass balloon releases are not common in Clarington, and that the municipality has not received any complaints about the issue, but it's still going ahead and recommending a ban. So the committee voted to send the report to Durham's other municipalities, requesting that they too ban balloon releases. So the article just continues here that municipal staff were also directed to write to the Ministry of the Environment and Climate Change Canada, asking them to address the environmental impact of balloon releases, as has been done in some jurisdictions in the United States. Now, the whole council is going to vote on this proposed ban at the next meeting on March 20th. Okay, so I have a few comments on this, and I hope you'll join again and answer the question of the podcast. Now, I myself have never had the opportunity to release more than 10 balloons at once into the air. I believe I have released the odd balloon. Most of these are given out at free events, and you might go to a fair or something, and there's balloons. My children are a little bit older; they're now teens, so they're not that eager to get a hold of a balloon. So for my personal family and for myself, I don't think this is a huge issue. And again, the article pointed out that there were actually no complaints made to council about this. But in any case, I think we all understand what the issue is. There's, somebody has a birthday party or there's a public event and there's a mass release of these balloons into the environment. I did look up a Facebook page. There is a Facebook page that's dedicated to opposing this, and they're called the Ban Balloon Releases for a Healthier Ecology. So I'm going to include a link to them. So if you'd like to research a little bit more about them, you can check that out and see what they have to say. Just a couple of questions that I would have for council is like, why spend time on this? If nobody's complaining, surely there's something else to talk about rather than how many balloons people are releasing into the air. For example, what about roads? We could talk about the quality of the roads and all the potholes that are around following the winter. I don't know if there's more or less than there have been in previous years, but there do seem to be a whole lot. What about lowering taxes? We could have, a longer discussion on lowering taxes rather than talking about balloons. What about having a more efficient local government that doesn't waste time and taxpayer money on frivolous committees? Maybe they could spend some time, instead of talking about balloon releases, to talk about frivolous committees. And I'm being a little bit facetious there, but when you think about it, they're being paid. These are lots of people being paid, and they're taking notes and using up time and energy at the municipal town hall discussing balloon releases in the face of no complaints. So, on the one hand, we all understand the environment. We want to take care of our environment. I don't know if this is the most pressing issue, but, in one way, I think it's just another example of sort of the over-regulation of our lives. We don't want hundreds of thousands of balloons going out there every day, every 24-hour period by, a bunch of balloon-crazed Claringtonians, but, I don't know if that's even happening. So, it's almost like we're looking for a problem to solve. And now let's assume that, they go ahead with this, and let's assume that it does have broad support, but why are we stopping at just 10? Am I allowed to threaten 10 fish or birds and jeopardize their lives with the release of 10 balloons? But 11, I've crossed the line somehow and need to be sanctioned. I'm curious how they came up with the 10 number. I realize it's a sliding scale. You have to put a number somewhere. But I don't know why the 10-year-old child is allowed to have a party and release 10 balloons, but the 11-year-old wouldn't be able to. So it seems like an arbitrary number to me. But, again, I'm all ears. I'm willing to hear the argument, further argument, which I'm sure will come up at the March 20th meeting. But again, I would just go back to the overregulation of our lives. That how many bylaws do we really need? Like, do we really need to tell people that, it's not good to release these helium balloons that are floating away and ending up, befouling our lakes, our oceans, our rivers, our streams. One thing that really gets me is when you see all the garbage bags that are flying around, especially in the wind. It was very windy in the past couple of weeks, as we all know. And, the garbage bags end up stuck in trees. That kind of bugs me too. But again, it's part of the existence of humans to a certain extent. I think you can only do so much to change people's opinions. So that's kind of like where I'm going. How about a gentle public education campaign? Why don't we identify a few locations where stores are selling balloons, and maybe put a discreet little sign that says please act responsibly, which I think most people do know already and may not even need. I think even this might be a bit of overkill, but enlisting those stores perhaps to come up with you can do this through email and just a gentle reminder to their clients that, by the way, you might not want to release, if somebody's buying 50 balloons, you might use a gentle reminder. You might not want to release all these at once if you're filling them with helium. And certainly when you're finished, dispose of them properly, when the event's over. But in my mind also, where would this end? Today we're talking balloons. Tomorrow is it fireworks? Which are also regulated. But to me, the fireworks cause a whole bunch of environmental damage as well, shooting up into the air and creating huge amounts of smoke. So, this could go off into a number of different directions where we're just regulating people's lives about things they pretty much know about. And I think the committee and I think council knows also that since there's been no complaints along these lines, that probably this isn't, the best use of their time. I do appreciate their concern for the environment. I just don't know if we want to create, because this takes us down another road where we're starting to regulate all sorts of behavior related to common sense sort of things, right? So I think some gentle reminders. I think I would lean more towards the public education campaign rather than creating a whole stack of rules and bylaws and laws and all these charts and committee meetings, and now we have the Ministry of the Environment. Other municipalities are being emailed, and they're each gonna, if they each strike their committees, we'll end up with half a dozen more committees, and you see what I mean? Like it's over something that nobody complained about. So again, and I think that most people are cognizant of and aware. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention. I'm curious to see what you think, so please answer the question of the podcast, and I look forward to hearing what you have to say. Question of the podcast. Would you ever release more than 10 balloons at once? Would you ever release more than 10 balloons at once in Clarington? And that's it for episode number 78 of the Clarington Chronicle Podcast. If you'd like to comment on the podcast or have an idea for an upcoming episode, please email me at claringtonchronicle@gmail.com. And you can find this podcast on Twitter at ClaringtonChron, or on one of the Facebook pages dedicated to Clarington or communities within Clarington, or on my website, markstanish.com. You can subscribe for free on iTunes or Android and get instant updates when a new podcast is uploaded. And the Clarington Chronicle Podcast is now on YouTube as well. Thanks for listening.